Say, kids, what time is it?
Hey, this is Keith for GeekTime TV, and we're going to talk about the Season 2 premiere of Batwoman. To call the CW's Batwoman a trash fire is not being kind to either trash or fire. Trash can be someone's treasure, and a controlled fire can be beautiful, breathtaking, or even a source of warmth. This show is not treasure, not breathtaking, or even warm. It is, in fact, the most unintentionally hilarious, poorly written pile of woke trash. But before we review Batwoman, I have a few things about the Greg Berlanti-led DC superhero shows that really irk me and come off to me as stupid and lazy. Why do all the CW shows have a tech team that works behind the scenes with real-time GPS tracking, limited control over municipal utilities, and complete animated schematics of each city, including the underground? Also, the CW-led Berlanti shows, in their attempt to quote-unquote mirror society, has grown their fictional alphabet community with 66 current members spread out over their shows. A little excessive, if you ask me. But that's not what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about the Season 2 of Batwoman. So, Javicia Leslie replaces Ruby Rose as Batwoman for Season 2. And of course, we remember there was casting controversy right out of the gate, where the only people who were allowed to audition for this role had to be not only gay or bisexual, but also a person of color. And since California's done away with discrimination hiring laws, they were able to get away with that. So, the show opens with Ryan Wilder. Yes, Ryan Wilder, another Mikey Spock intersectional male first name character, living in her van down by the river. So she talks to this potted plant and calls it Mom. And within the first minute of the show, we get this flashback scene where her and her mom were going to move into this apartment together. And Mom says something along the lines of, wow, you can't bring over any of your female lovers or something like that. So we're told right off the bat what her pronouns are, as if it makes a difference. So she's jolted out of that flashback by a plane crashing right outside on the beach, not 20 feet away from the van. And of course, nothing gets damaged. There's no shrapnel. There's no explosion. There's a little bit of a fire burning. And she goes outside and finds this dude who's survived the crash. And she wants to help him. And she's calling for help. But then she spies the bat suit. And that draws her away from this ailing survivor. And she stops looking for any other ones. Now, this scene kind of bugged me in the way it was constructed. The editing was terrible because no one used any imagination as far as building any kind of drama, because we see all this happen. And then it cuts to Luke Fox and Mary Hamilton is her name, I guess, in their little lab or wherever they are. And they're tracking the flight manifest, and they're showing, what time it took off and when it taxied and when it was in the air. And they're, they have the registration number G24445, whatever, in which in the scene where Ryan goes out to look at the plane crash, the fuselage is laying there with those letters and numbers on it. So we already know it's her plane. We already know she was on it. We already know she didn't make it. Like, they could have done that completely inverted and really ratcheted up the tension, or maybe cut back and forth from the two, where maybe Luke Fox says, well, her flight was the plane was GH, the serial number on the plane was GH1125. And then it cuts to her walking past the fuselage, and you see those numbers. It just could have been put together a little less basic. I also want to make a note of the horrible acting throughout this episode by just about everybody in it. The mouth breathing, the gasping, the eye bulging, the frustration mouth breathing, where you get frustrated and you do. There's tons of that. Anyway, moving on, Dougray Scott comes out, and he's probably wondering what his life is really like on Earth 2, where he took the role of Wolverine instead and became a huge, successful box office attraction. And instead, he's on the CW. He comes along, he plays Commander Kane, and he's like the chief of police or something. I should back up and let everyone who's watching know I did not watch season 1. I dove into the deep end of the pool here because I had to find out what this is all about. He is Kate Kane, who was Ruby Rose's character's father, and he comes to the scene of the crash looking for her. At this point, Tommy Elliott is the character Hush from the Batman comics, and a great villain. Anyway, Tommy shows up, and he is disguised as Bruce Wayne, and everyone buys it. And he's got one of those Mission Impossible masks on, I guess, and it alters his voice perfectly because nobody knows this. Anyway, Bruce says he's back to reclaim the Batsuit because this particular Batsuit went from being on Batman to Batwoman to now a different Batwoman, potentially. And now he wants it back and it's going to just fit. I mean, does this thing have was this made of unstable molecules by Reed Richards? It can just keep changing its form and fit to fit whoever puts it on. He's been working with Alice Kane, who I guess is the series' big bad from season 1, and also Kate Kane's sister and Commander Kane's other daughter. They're twins, I guess. So everyone's related on this show. So Alice Kane and Tommy Elliott are looking for a kryptonite bullet that they want to kill Batman or Batwoman with because it's the only thing that can penetrate the Batsuit. I was like, what? Okay, first of all, I didn't watch season 1. I don't know what the fuck they're doing on this network, but why is kryptonite even in a Batman story if it doesn't involve someone from the planet Krypton? Why was a kryptonite bullet needed to get through the Batsuit? The Batsuit is not armor. It's not, I mean, it's armored, but it's like Kevlar. It's not Iron Man. It's not, I just can't. Anyway, moving on. In the next scene, sorry, I forgot to mention that he cons, his disguise is so good, he cons Luke Fox into getting him into the Batcave and showing him around. But anyway, the next scene, we have Ryan going to her probie or her social worker, and she's asked if she's been looking for work, and she said she's having trouble because she's an ex-con, basically. She went to prison for having someone else's drugs on her. And the social worker says, well, yeah, but you know karate, so why don't you go teach at a dojo?
Because I can't find a job. Because I don't have a home. Because no landlord wants to rent to an ex-con on post-release. You see how this works? No one cares that the dope wasn't mine, or that the crows were dirty, or that I'm actually a decent human. I am a file in your cabinet. That is not having power. That is the very definition of powerless.
I just want to say this about Javicia Leslie. She's adorable. She's a really attractive young girl. And I think she has the basic acting skills to take it to the next level someday. But she's being directed by really bad directors. And she's been given dialogue that's really bad to chew on. And she over emotes. And she basically everyone on this show is like they're on an episode of Saved by the Bell. I feel like I'm watching Saved by the Bell, the Batwoman years. It's like that bad, the acting. So anyway, Ryan then goes home to her van and she has these dreams where it's again the dreams where her and her mom are moving into the apartment, and when they get in there, there's these squatters in there, and the squatters attack and kill her mother. And it turns out later in the episode we find out that those squatters are from Alice Kane's crime gang. So you see, everything's connected. So this basically this is her origin. Now they're going to just copy the Bruce Wayne origin. These vile people killed her parents, and now she's going to take the Bat costume and go get revenge. So she takes the Bat costume to this public restroom somewhere that's in an abandoned train station or a bus depot or something. I don't know where it is, but she's standing in a pool of bum juice, putting this thing on. And of course it fits her perfectly. So she takes the costume and she heads down into this alley and finds these two thugs. And they make it seem like she really doesn't know what she's doing. But after one or two moments of confusion, basically lays them out. So she becomes Batwoman without any training required because she's the bestest ever. No training required. Not like Bruce Wayne. Bruce Wayne had to go all around the world and practice every form of martial arts and train his body to ignore pain and cold and extreme heat and all kinds of weird elements to master mind over matter. But not her. Oh no. She just needs to put on her cosplay costume and go rock the world. By the way, speaking of rocking the world, every time she wears this costume, this awful, like hard pop music comes on. This really bad, like Dollar Tree Evanescence music. It's just awful. Anyway, back to our show. In between these scenes, we have the stories glued together with filler. And the filler is basically this character, Sophie Moore or Julia Pennyworth. They spend all these transitional scenes discussing their feelings and crying. They're discussing their feelings in rooms. They're discussing their feelings on staircases. They're discussing their feelings in offices. And that's how they fill the time on this show. Meanwhile, our tech team has tracked the Batsuit with GPS. We find Luke and Mary in a local sewer. Maybe they just followed the smell of bum juice to find her because, she did get changed in a public urinal. So they find Ryan in the sewer, and Ryan refuses to return the Batsuit. Finders keepers. She then goes on this really weird rant where she's rambling off these ridiculous demographical statistics, clearly reading them off a cue card or a prompter, while standing, ankle deep in piss water. Let's listen.
And you sure as hell don't know anything about that symbol.
Trust me, I know I'm not a symbol. Or a name, or a legacy.
Exactly, so why do you think you're worthy of wearing it?
Because I'm a number. I am the 327th baby of a black woman who died during childbirth that year. I'm a $20 a day check to a group home. I'm inmate 40757, serving 18 months for a crime I didn't commit. But I can live with all those numbers because to mama who adopted me, those are number one. But it turns out she's just one of 250,000 murders in this country who have not seen justice. And that is a number I can't live with. So you can have this damn suit back when her killer is dead.
Because everyone talks like that. I didn't write this, folks. I'm not making this up. This is real. So yeah, when you have writers that put their political agendas and self-insertions ahead of actual entertainment and good characters, this is the kind of dialogue you're treated to on the CW. Anyway, back to our stalwart tech team. Again, we have more scenes of feelings. Luke is blaming himself now for Kate Kane's death, and because now that they've lost the bat suit to this homeless woman, and he's over emoting and more feelings and more crying, and Meanwhile, Commander Kane, Dougray Scott, tracks down Alice, his daughter, looking for Kate, and is told by Alice that Kate is Batwoman, but not only Batwoman, even worse, she's gay. Like that has anything to do with anything, and then accuses him of hating her because white man hate gay? I don't know, but here's the dialogue.
Kane is Batwoman!
And I'm the Joker. Arkham's waiting.
Use your brain, Commander. A lesbian superhero who could have killed me 12 times but didn't? I wonder who that could be.
That's preposterous. Kate would have told me.
You rejected her. Over and over to the world, to her face.
Yeah. Meanwhile, back down by the river, Ryan Wilder had been doing some research on Kate Kane and finds out, well, that she's a hero, quote unquote, both in and out of the costume, and feels that she can't live up to her. So she decides to activate the Batsuit, which fires up the GPS. And this was actually like the best moment in the show because there was a real moment here, an actual moment. Meanwhile, Tommy has taken the crap mobile out because he's going to retrieve the suit. He's going to shoot Batwoman and get it back. So he climbs into the worst Batmobile I have ever seen in my life. This thing is just, look at this thing. It's a stock Corvette Stingray with an aftermarket hood and a bat-shaped rear spoiler thrown on. And that's it. That's it. It's just a car, man. Anyway, so he tracks the Batsuit down by the river in the van and starts pursuing her. It's hilarious because Luke at this point is talking to Ryan and says, like, get out of there. He's going to kill you. It's not Bruce Wayne. It's Tommy Elliott, and he's going to kill you. And so she starts up her dilapidated van and is able to easily outrun, outmaneuver, and dodge ballistic missiles in this van when he's got the Batmobile, right? So during the pursuit, the whole time she's talking to Luke Fox, and she says something like, can you hack the Batmobile? And he says, I don't know. I didn't know it existed until 15 minutes ago. Hang on a second. Done. So they crash the van, and then Tommy and Ryan get into a fight where she uses her karate, and then Tommy smashes the potted plant, and it just sends Ryan into this full-blown rage where she just starts pummeling him, and she beats the living crap out of him. And I was laughing because he's an escapee from Arkham Asylum, and if you know anything about like psycho strength, there's no way this like 105-pound woman should have been able to pound the crap out of this guy. I mean, so anyway, she beats him till his fake face falls off. She saves the day. And anyway, at this point, like Luke and Mary decide to let her keep the bat suit because she could be the hero that we all deserve, or maybe we don't. I don't know. And the episode ends with Commander Kane lighting the bat signal, hoping that Kate will return, and there's more of that bad music playing, and we're left to ponder the future of this pile of shite from whatever species you decide dropped it on your front lawn and didn't come back with the little baggie to pick it up either. At least not yet. So anyway, to wrap up this review, we'll look at the IMDb rating. We've got a 3.5 from 30,716 viewers on IMDb. The Rotten Tomatoes score as of late. This is funny. 20% audience score based on 297 ratings and 88% critic score based on 17 ratings. So who's the shill, right? Who's getting paid to say nice things about this show? Wonder who. And then let's take a quick look at the ratings, the overall ratings for week 1. Batwoman season debut, the 18 to 49 demographic, which is supposed to be their audience, target audience, 0.1%, down 78.72 from last year. So that's almost an 80% drop in the age bracket they were going for. Viewers in total, 0.66. That's about 660,000. That's down 64.35% from last year. So this show is basically DOA. I give it 0 stars out of 5. It's hot trash. I am not going to review any more of these. I'm done with it. I've seen enough. I just had to get on the bandwagon and review this with the rest of the Fandom Menace because it's almost like required at this point. So anyway, hope you liked the video. If you didn't, give us a thumbs down. If you did, smash the thumbs up like button. And please leave your thoughts or comments in the box below. And of course, if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. It'll only help us grow and we can do bigger and better things. So until next time, this was Keith for GeekTime TV. We'll be seeing you, not on the CW. If you like this video, please subscribe to the channel. If you subscribe, make sure you click the little bell icon to be notified anytime someone from our show drops new content here. Thanks for watching, and we'll talk to you soon.
Say, kids, what time is that?